Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Kirshen, and this week we are doing a live stream commentary for Rosemary's Baby. One of the most classic psychological horror films ever made, in my opinion. It actually is my favorite. So, Rosemary's Baby, an absolute classic from 1968, directed by Roman Polanski. Not a very popular guy for his actions in real life, but as a director, you can't deny he's made some classic films, and this is certainly one of them. It did. Hey, Bronco Juggalo, what's up? This movie barely got kicked off the last top 20 list. If I had done that list, it's definitely would be on there for me. Welcome, Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies to the chat. Fellow member of the blood spattered trio. You know we gotta do another stream, dude. I'm not gonna rest until we do another blood spattered trio. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby, I'll be honest, is one of my favorite movies ever made. Um, and guess who introduced me to it? My wife, Christine. I had actually never seen it before, and Christy was like, "We should watch Rosemary's Baby." I was like, "Oh, I've never actually seen it before." And she's like, "You've never seen Rosemary's Baby? What kind of horror fan are you?" I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I really need to see it. I need to rectify that." And I watched it and I was just like so engaged and so caught up in the story. And, at first I just thought it was like like one of those 70s like romantic comedies or something. And that's kind of is the way it starts off. But as the movie goes along, you get further and further engrossed into the story. It's just amazing. I think it's just a fantastic movie. And then, yeah, it's a slow burn for sure, but I think it's probably the best slow burn ever, to one of the most classic endings in the horror movie history. And I don't think there's a movie that exists that has more of a build up and the tension mounts into an absolute crescendo as well as this movie does. I mean, there's a few movies that do that, but I don't think there's any movie that does it better than this when it comes to a suspenseful, slow burn horror film and a psychological horror film like Rosemary's Baby. I might just do that list, Mr. Bronco Juggalo, the top 20 for 20 satanic slash demonic horror films of all time. Very interesting. I definitely would have to work on that list. There definitely is a lot of good ones. I don't have a lot too many of them. I do have a few of them. Probably only have about like 10 though. Then again, I'm not sure. I might have enough. Art Brimmer, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. So like I usually do, I'll give you guys a little bit to if you want to grab your copy of Rosemary's Baby and throw it in the DVD or Blu-ray player or 4K player, whatever you got. If you want to join me and hang out as we do the live stream commentary on Rosemary's Baby. Da, 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 da. That theme song's so classic and it gets in your head. So this film takes place in the famous apartment complex called the Dakota in New York City, um, which is called the Bramford in this film. But John Lennon himself lived in that apartment complex, and that's where he was killed in 1980, I believe it was, by a crazed Beatles fan, you know? Crazy. That was later on, of course. This movie came out in 1968. And another interesting fact is Sharon Tate, who was Roman Polanski's wife, was murdered by the Charles Manson cult. And she was pregnant at the time. And it's like, kind of makes you wonder, did this movie have something to do with it? You know, some kind of little influence on that? Given the context of the film, you know, it is a film about the occult, and the Manson cult is the most infamous cult of all time, I would say. I think there's some kind of connection, you know, but that's just me. Who knows, really? All we know is they were a bunch of lunatics being led by a charismatic madman. It's something when you think about a man who could have that kind of influence over people's minds that they could actually force them to kill people for him, you know? So messed up. Can't be too tightly wrapped to begin with. That's such a sad, you know, way to go out. Woman's pregnant, you know? So messed up. And she had a big career ahead of her, you know? She was a famous actress. Who knows what she would have been done? She would have had some big roles probably. So, guys, if you just tune in, we're gonna get ready to do a live stream commentary on the classic film from 1968, Rosemary's Baby, starring Mia Farrow, John Cassavetes, Ruth Gordon, who actually won an Oscar for her portrayal of Mrs. Castevet, and playing her husband, Sidney Blackmer. Such an intriguing story. I can't wait to watch it with you guys. So let's have some fun. We're gonna have a blast watching this classic, slow burn, suspenseful horror film. Hey, horrific nightmares, JM in the chat. What's going on? Hey, we got Bronco Juggalo talks movies. We got horrific nightmares, JM in the house. What's up, Jason? Thoughts on Rosemary's Baby, Jason? I think I'm trying to think. Did that make your list of top 20 satanic, demonic movies? I think it did, didn't it? If I did that list, it would be, for me personally, it would be right at the top. Love it. Just missed my list. Yeah, to me, it's like the greatest, like, psychological horror movie. It's my personal favorite. And, yeah, to me, it's right up there with The Exorcist. It's a lot more subtle than those kind of movies. Hey, what's up? Hellhound from the Horror Metal channel. What's going on, dude? Welcome to the horror corner. You just tune in. We're about to get started with a live commentary on Rosemary's Baby. I thought this would be a lot of fun to do, and it's a great slow burn horror movie, so we could have a chance to chit chat. Yeah, exactly. What have you done to its eyes, you maniacs? Ugh. That's one of the most infamous endings in horror history, I would say. Would you guys say that? It's just classic, man. And it shocked me, when the first time I saw it. I used to wonder, what's the big deal about Rosemary's Baby? So many people talk about this being a classic. And then when sat down and watched it, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I get it. I was so engrossed with it when I first saw it. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. And it's like um, Mia Farrow's portrayal of Rosemary is just fantastic. I think her performance in this film is one of the best in horror history. You just really feel for her, you really connect with her character, um, in the way you don't see too often in horror. And you don't want anything bad to happen to her, you're, like, praying for her to get out of this somehow, or, something bad's coming. But then you wonder kind of in the back of your mind, is it all in her mind? Or. I never really thought it was, but kind of in the back mind, it could have been, you know, in her mind the whole time, and that she was just slowly losing her shit, you know. All right, we got horrific nightmares, JM in the chat, Bronco Juggalo talks movies, and we also got Hellhounds from the Horror Metal channel. We got like half the horror hangout crew here. By the way, guys, we're gonna be having a Halloween spectacular celebration, and I believe it's gonna be over at the Horror Miser Monty G's channel. Yeah, I believe that was Whatever Happened to Rosemary's Baby, right, Jason? I haven't seen that in years. I did see it a long, long time ago. I don't remember it being very good. Whatever. I think I've seen that, and I didn't even see the original. I just saw the made for TV version on TV. So I couldn't really follow it too well because I didn't see the original. Maybe I would have been more invested in it. I saw a little bit of the remake they did too, the TV remake with Rihanna. Remember that? All right, guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to hit play. Everybody ready? Grab your DVDs, Blu-rays, or 4K releases. Got my remote control ready here. We're gonna get started. and I love this opening too. I love the themes, that theme song. Here we go, Rosemary's Baby, the classic from 1968, directed by Roman Polanski. William Castle production. Da, 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 da. Even like the typeface in the credits doesn't seem like it's a horror movie, you know? Seems like it's gonna be some kind of romantic comedy or something. And it kind of has that feel at the beginning, you know? That's how they reel you in. Although the theme song is kind of haunting there. And that's actually Mia Farrow singing that, you know, which is pretty cool. Ralph Bellamy as Dr. Saperstein. Film stars Mia Farrow in the role of Rosemary and Guy Woodhouse, played by John Cassavet. And the nosy neighbors are played by Sidney Blackmer and Ruth Gordon. I mean, they're nosy on a whole other level, you know. And there's that wonderful overhead shot of the the Brantford they call it in the movie, but it's called the Dakota in real life. Famous apartment building in New York City. Written for the screen and directed by Roman Polanski. Some great shots of New York City, right over the fountain there. I love it. And we are in front of the Brantford, and here we meet Rosemary and Guy getting ready to check out the apartment at the Brantford. Now, guys, if they ever do like a big budget Hollywood remake, you know they gotta get Gwen Paltrow to play Rosemary. She's a dead ringer for Mia Farrow, wouldn't you say? Gwyneth Paltrow, and I think she'd do a really good job, probably too. I noticed that the guy who's the elevator operator is in Rosemary's Dream, you know, later on. But they just seem like a cute young couple, you know, just married, you know, trying to settle down so they could have children and, you know, start a family. Just a couple good people. They just chose the wrong place to do it in. That's a beautiful apartment, though. You know, you can't blame them. They got a good deal on it, you know. And right now they're talking about the previous tenant who was an older lady who suspiciously died. And it looks like that's her suicide note right there. Like, I can't go on or something like that. And later on, when we meet Rosemary's buddy, He tells her all about the history of the Bramford. It's just stained with blood and craziness and people dying. And I mean, look at man. I love this apartment. Gothic, big, huge apartment, man. And then we got that big dresser blocking the door there. They're like, what? Why is it blocking that doorway over there? It's supposed to just a closet. Somebody obviously moved it to block that door because there's something evil behind it. Something evil lurks. So I can see now why the old lady went into a coma. She was 89. There's no way she could have lifted that dresser and moved it in front of the closet. That's just a regular old linen closet with towels and crap. Like, why would she want to cover that up? Maybe she was becoming senile after all. And they're talking about the apartment, how it's much better than the other ones they've gone to. Of course it is. Like, well, I'm gonna have to get another job. So Guy is an actor, trying to get roles on Broadway and stuff. I mean, what a great location. That's right in the heart of the city, you know. Hmm. Here he goes. Talking about the Trench sisters conducted the little dietary experiments. Adrian Macato lived there. Who are the Trench sisters? Two proper Victorian ladies. They cooked and ate several young children. Oh, Jesus Christ. Adrian Macato practiced witchcraft. Conjured up the living devil. Hey, what's up? Movie massacre in the house. Be water, my friend. He's talking about the history of unpleasant events in the Bramford. In 59, a dead infant was found wrapped in newspaper in the basement. You really aroused my appetite, Hutch. I am water. Indeed. Hey, Mr. Movie Massacre, I see you're pumping out the content lately. It's nice to see you back and you're very active. I know how tough it is, you know. You're working like nonstop. It's hard to find time to do these kind of things, you know. But I do the best I can, as do all you guys. And to me, this is just a perfect example of a slow burn horror film. Movie Massacre says, I remember the Michael Myers window sticker you got last Halloween. I saw it in Spirit Halloween. Yeah, I still have it. Got a few things from Spirit this year. Thanks, man. I'm trying to be regular again. I think I figured a way to make the videos easier to edit. Good. They're getting ready to do the hippity dippity in the dark. And Mia Farrow's not shy in this, you know. She gets buck ass naked a couple times. Very attractive woman, and she dated Frank Sinatra at one time. I think they were, if I'm not, were they married? Movie Mask says it's been a long time since I saw this. It's a classic. Yeah, it certainly is. I like the bear skin. I don't mind a wee bit of bear skin now and then. Hmm. He's such a wise ass, this guy. You know, this apartment. Can you imagine how much this apartment would cost? You know, in the middle of New York City, you get a big, huge apartment like that. It's beautiful. Even back then, I couldn't afford it. Imagine what it'd be today. And there's guy starring in his commercial there for Yamaha motorcycle. I love how the start of this movie is like just it's just classic like 60s like um romantic like comedy. It's like Breakfast at Tiffany's or something. The way it starts off. And then things slowly start going down south, you know. Literally. On here she meets the young girl that's staying with the Castavets, who they just took in off the street, apparently. I like when she says they took me in. First I thought it was some kind of sex thing. Really? With these old and they seem to hit it off right away, you know. Seems like a nice girl that just got lost, I guess. And the Castavets took her in, and they gave her that necklace with the Tanis root. It's such a dark movie. Yeah, it is, you know. They kind of make a pact to do laundry together every night, you know. Seems innocent enough, doesn't it? Until we meet the Castavets. And she smells the Tanis root, and it's like ungodly. Like, what the hell is this stuff? I wonder if that's really a thing, like in witchcraft or something. Yeah, I did see the sequel a long, long time ago, but I don't really remember it too much. And I hadn't even seen the original, so I didn't find it that memorable. Only problem with this apartment is the walls are paper thin. You can hear everything people are saying on the other side of the wall in the other apartments. And there's some weird shit going on over there. I don't know what they're talking about, but it ain't good. There's something weird going on. This was one of the first movies that really shocked me. Movie Massacre says, "Hey Ben Grimm, what's going on?" Ben Grimm says it's art. Yes, yes, indeed. Beautiful cinematography in this film too. Excellent direction by Roman Polanski. Say what you will about him, you know. I did not condone his actions outside the film industry. Nasty, the girl that Rosemary just met, and now she's dead 10 minutes later, and they find her on the street with her head bashed in, you know. Obviously, she took a fall from the Castavet's apartment. I mean, this movie is certainly no bloodbath, but that was kind of a shocking scene there. This movie didn't need a lot of blood. It's about the story, it's about the characters. And here we meet Roman Castavet. Quite a character. This old couple that lived next door in the apartment. They took in this girl and now she's dead. And he's like, I knew this would happen. She was deeply depressed. I told my wife about it, but she poo pooed me. She's a very happy girl. No need for self destruction. She wasn't cleaning windows at midnight. Then turns around, sees Rosemary. She grabs these funky old lady glasses. Definitely the 60s style of clothes. Look at the getup these two are in. He's got a bright pink suit with like a pink fedora hat and bright red um, bow tie, and she's got some kind of funky what do you call those things? Moo. She looks like Mrs. Roper in Three's Company. Here we go. We see Rosemary naked in bed, and she's about to have a really bizarre dream. And the way these scenes are filmed are very, very, very interesting. Very creepy. Like the imagery. Right there, they show the girl's dead body, and there's a nun holding the Bible talking. But it doesn't really match what the people are saying. Because she hears the people next door talking from behind the walls. but they're showing these weird images of a nun yelling at these people making the building. Very bizarre. What I pick up from Spirit, I got the Halloween welcome mat with Michael Myers on it. Really cool. Uh-oh, here she comes. The nosiest neighbor in history. As I said, Ruth Gordon won an Oscar for I think Mia Farrow should have won, in my opinion, because she really is the one that carries this movie for me. But yeah, the entire supporting cast is fantastic. Oh, look what you done to the place. Look what you put the table. Isn't that interesting? Like she just walks right in, walks around the house. Like, who is this lady? You know? No, I haven't read the book actually. I should though. I'm not a big fiction guy to be honest. I don't know what it is, but I find it hard to get through fiction. I'm more of like a biography kind of guy. I like nonfiction stuff, I guess. She's asking for a guy's resume, basically. What movies has he been in? And she tells her about these little productions that he was in. Just kind of a struggling young actor. But that soon changes. You tell him I won't take no for an answer. She invited him to dinner and she's like insisting that they go over to their apartment for dinner. You can tell right off the bat Rosemary thinks she's nosy as hell. And then Guy at first he's like, do we really have to go bag a bu- yeah, like, All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulty. My Wi-Fi crapped the bed on me for a minute, so I had to reset it. We're back, though. We're here at doing the live stream commentary for Rosemary's Baby. So right now, Minnie and Roman have met with Rosemary and Guy Woodhouse. I like when the old man Roman tells him, I've been everywhere. You name it, I've been there. I've been to Paris, France, Italy, like all over the world, everywhere, and they say, just name a place. And they start naming places. I've been there. He starts talking about the police. It just kind of gives off a creepy vibe, like, there's something more to him than just being the neighbor. This nice old guy. And like I said, all of a sudden, guys, all about it. He's so intrigued with this old couple. He wants to go over there the next day and hear more stories. And Rosemary's like, "What? Why?" She's not. She ain't exactly running to go back there. She was just doing it as kind of a gesture because to get her to shut up. Well, guys in the chat, sorry about that. I am back. So we had a little bit of technical difficulty for a minute, and I'm sorry about that. It's always embarrassing when that happens. It's so annoying. That's why I kind of stopped doing the hosting the horror hangout because my Wi-Fi is so crappy. I can't do these big group streams anymore, unfortunately, and that really hurt having to do that. I'll be honest with you, because I really enjoyed doing that, and I really enjoyed hosting it. This Wi-Fi is just terrible. I love doing these live streams for you guys. I have such a blast doing it, and I love the big group ones like the horror hangout and the blood spatter trio. I thought at least I could do solo ones. The past couple I did worked out pretty well, but here we go again. I'm starting to have issues. Hopefully, we're good now for the rest of the show. Fingers crossed, guys. Let me just make sure I'm still on. All right, I am still here, so I'm looking at it right now. I am still on, in case you guys wondering. Nope, I'm gonna turn the volume off. So Minnie gave Rosemary the necklace that her friend had when she died, which is kind of messed up. Now she's got the necklace with the funky smelling tannis root. What the hell is this stuff? And now Minnie just barges in the next day, thinking that they're the best of friends. Bringing her buddy along so they could do knitting. They just sit on the couch and start knitting. It's like, really? I had planned. She was planning to go out and stuff. She told him specifically, I want to be here by myself. You go over there and have fun with them. Sorry, guys, in the chat. Hope I didn't totally lose you. Come back. Anyway, we had movie massacre here before. We had metal, horrific nightmares. JM. We had Bronco Juggalo talks movies. We had a lot of people in here. Hopefully they'll come back because we ain't done yet by a long shot. We're not even halfway through the movie. So, guys, just finding out now that the part he auditioned for, which he was just going to end up playing a smaller role, but now the main guy who was the star of the Broadway production, suddenly went blind. And he was just telling Roman about how he's a struggling actor and he's trying out for all these parts, but he hasn't been able to get big, significant parts. He's like, "Well, I can't believe you wouldn't get it." And then he started talking about how he saw him in different productions and different plays. It's like he's such a small time actor, and he just happened to see him in a play. Now all of a sudden, the guy lose goes blind, and now guess who gets the lead role? Maybe some of the things that Hutch was talking about earlier. There's something to that legend, all the bad things that happen in this apartment building. We just had a girl kill herself, allegedly, jumping off the apartment building, and suddenly he becomes engrossed in his role, and he's not paying as much attention to his young new wife, Rosemary, as much, and she notices it. He's preoccupied, and he's spending a lot of time with the neighbors, which is weird. Why are you hanging out with these old these old people? Now she's hanging out with Hutch, walking through the city. Gonna have dinner together. She's all dolled up. I'm talking a movie Massacre right now. I'm back. Had to reset the Wi-Fi. I just love how the slow burn of it. Things are just slowly starting to happen and starting to get strange. Movie Mask said he might be back. And here they are trying to have a nice romantic candlelit dinner. She's ready for a fun night of drinking and partying, and guess who's at the door? Old Minnie. Like she's all dolled up. She got her hair all done nice, makeup on, and she brought over some funky chocolate mousse with a chalky undertaste. Oh yeah, movie massacre. I was just gonna say a couple other things I got from Spirit. I I got this plaque that looks like a newspaper clipping from Haddonfield newspaper. It's pretty cool. Like three dead found on Halloween night. Escape mental patient on the loose. I like that. And I got the Haddonfield hat, baseball cap. I also was thinking I might go back there and get one of those fog machines. I thought that'd be fun to get for my videos and stuff. Give a real gothic feel to my videos. Oh, Bronco Juggalo's back. Sorry I had to jet for dinner. Green chili cheeseburgers. Green chili cheeseburgers, huh? So damn good. It's the Pope at Yankee Stadium. That's another thing I forgot to mention. They had a weird kind of religious discussion when they were over the Castevet's house. She talked about the Pope coming to town. He was like, and they were like making fun of him. He's like, you don't have to believe him just because he pretends to be holy. And they're like, It's kind of an odd thing. It's like he was serious about it. And apparently, this chocolate mousse really did a number on her. Rosemary's stumbling and falling everywhere, and he just kind of plays it off like she's drunk, but she's not. I think they slipped her a Mickey. Here we go. Some real weird imagery going on now. And Rosemary saying, we have to make a baby. And she's half asleep and she's dreaming. Or is she? And then there's this weird stuff where she's on a boat and she's like drinking cocktails and she's naked. They're like, there's a storm brewing. And then she goes down to the hull of the boat. There's the dude from the elevator. You best get down there, ma'am. It's really bizarre. It's trippy. It's definitely trippy. Well, this is the '60s. It is almost like an acid trip, these scenes. There's guys taking all their clothes off in the bed. I said, "What is he doing? Is he gonna like she's passed out, dude." And then she sees Hutch off in the background. She's like, "Isn't Hutch coming with us?" No, I'm sorry. That's because he's on to them. He knows there's something wrong with them. And he mentions when he later on when he meets Roman. And now they're showing these overhead shots of, I believe it's the Sistine Chapel, like, of God and Adam, pointing the finger, that famous shot when he's touching the fingers with God. These awesome shots. Like, I really would love to go there someday. Here she is, buck ass naked, going to the top of the. Yeah, you best get down below. Down below. There can't be anything good down below. There's evil down below. It's just like this dark ass room, and then there's a bed in the middle of it. And then there's these old people gathered around, buck ass naked, watching as Rosemary lies naked on that bed, and they got some kind of like drawing on her body in blood. This cannot be good. And they're singing these weird chants, like these rituals. And there's some lady coming downstairs looking like Jacqueline Kennedy or something. You better tie your legs down in case of convulsions. I suppose so. And they're like tying her legs to the bedpost and her arms so she can't move. Now someone's like scratching her body, and now you see it's the devil is having her way with Rosemary. This is crazy, man. The beast is raping Rosemary. This is no dream. This is really happening. He like covers her face with a pillow. And there's the Pope. She's like, I'm fine. You see the devil's heads on her head, and like It's not good. You see that the Pope has the ring with the tannis root. Something tells me that's not the real Pope. Or it might be the evil Pope like in like that band Ghost. Pope Emeritus too. Or he's the evil Pope. Now Rosemary wakes up in bed, looks like she's been through the freaking ringer. She just thinks she was hungover or something. You didn't go to sleep, you passed out. No more wine for you. See, you could see her back, and then she's got scratches all over her. He's trying to play it off like it was him. He's like, well, what? While I was out, you know, we could have did it any night. Why did it have to be? And she says, I dreamed of someone raping me. Such a creep. This guy Woodhouse. As it turns out, he's a freaking creep. All he thinks about is himself and having a wants to have a baby all of a sudden. Once again, Guy is all preoccupied with his role in the Broadway play. She's like, you haven't been looking at me lately. Like I said, in my opinion, would have given the Oscar to Mia Farrow, not Ruth Gordon. I think she totally carries this whole movie, even though everyone in the cast is excellent. But and that's no knock on Ruth Gordon; she does a fantastic job as well. But I just feel like Mia Farrow did an incredible job, and Rosemary's Daughter is played by Charles Grodin. Not the kind of guy you expect to do a horror film. I guess she's trying to test if she's pregnant yet, because they've been trying. And bingo, she's pregnant. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the guy who went blind. That guy took the role from in the Broadway play. When Rosemary talks to him on the phone, That's Tony Curtis. Yeah, he just did that little part. That was pretty cool, I thought. He was a big time actor at that time. And Rosemary's about to tell him the big news. And everything's all honky dory again and happy. For the moment. Only for the moment. Another fact, guys, I found out, you may have noticed I did reviews on Halloween 4 and Halloween 2 and all that. And you're probably thinking, haven't you done those before? I thought you did that a long time ago. I did, but that was on my previous channel, which has now been deleted completely by YouTube, which is unfortunate. It kind of was cool. I had a cool nostalgia kind of feel that I could go back to that channel and see my old videos from when I first started. But guess I can't do that anymore, so I figured I should probably go back and do all those reviews again. So that's why I did those, and I'm gonna do some more to make up for. I got the playlist of my whole Halloween franchise, and I'm missing like the first three, or four or five. Gotta go back and rectify that. What kind of Halloween fan am I if I didn't review the entire franchise? So I gotta do a couple of the Elm Streets. I gotta do the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, um, Reanimator. Yeah, I did quite a few on that one. So it kind of sucks. So just so you guys know, my old channel, original channel, has been deleted. Which to this day I can't fathom why I deleted that channel, why I canceled it. I didn't delete it. I just like started a new one, and that's the channel I'm on right now. And now Roman and Minnie have made sure to get personally involved in Rosemary's pregnancy. They're having Rosemary see like this big hot shot doctor in New York City. Make sure she gets the best care possible and sparing no expense. It's like, wow, they're getting awfully involved in this, aren't they? They're gonna spend all this kind of money so Rosemary gets the best care. Taking a keen interest in the baby, aren't they? Sup with that. Yeah, so guys, expect some more classic reviews, just to make up for the old channel being gone and that all those videos are deleted now. And I don't think I have too many of them saved either, so I think I'm just gonna redo them all. and he is the big Doctor Saperstein that uh, Minnie and Roman sent Rosemary to him because he's supposedly the biggest OBGYN doctor in the entire city. And Minnie's starting to feed her this drink, and she's like, "What's in it?" She's like, "Dragon's tails." What is in that drink, huh? Some more Mickeys so she can get screwed by the devil again. Mhm. And she just came with a little short haircut there. And guy's like, "What you do?" He's like a real asshole about it. That's the worst decision you ever did was getting that haircut. Like, wow, really? Real supportive. And this doctor seems like some kind of kook or something. He's like, Rosemary's trying to do all the research and read all the books about pregnancy, and he's just like, throw all those books away. We're gonna give you herbal medicines and no pills like everybody else takes, for their pregnancy. It's like this guy is the top doctor around, and he's giving like herbal remedies and stuff, and Rosemary's starting to get extreme pains. She's getting really sick. She's getting really, like, you could see his skin's turning white. She's like a ghost. She's losing weight. You're not supposed to lose weight and dick. She goes to have a nice steak and then starts ralphing. What do you guys think about the score of this film? I think it's real subtle, but really well done. And she goes to visit her friend. She's like, "You look horrible. This looks like death warmed over." She's like, the only one that cares about her is her friend. And once he starts trying to help her, oh, late horror show. What's going on? What's up, Dino? Late horror show says, "Well, I shall say the best choice for a commentary. Thank you, man. I know you love your classic horror. And what more classic than this one right here, Rosemary's Baby, an absolute iconic film." Thank you for joining us tonight. Dino, I noticed you're doing a lot of the Halloween films. You're doing like the trivia and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. in a late horror show. They love their classic horror, like the Universal monsters and the Hammer stuff, and just classic horror in general. Like Rosemary's Baby, stuff like that. All the old school horror. And that's the stuff that I love. I mean, to me, this is a five-star masterpiece. I mean, some horror movies they just put everything into, where they get great cast and great directors, and they just really, really care about that material. That's the kind of horror that I like. Is when they take it really serious, you know. And they're dealing with a very taboo subject, witchcraft and the devil, black magic. Of course, after this movie, that kind of opened the floodgates. Though in the early '70s, they started doing a lot of stuff like this, a lot of stuff dealing with Satanism and black magic and the occult. A lot of the exploitation stuff, like some of the Jess Franco stuff, and of course you had The Exorcist in 1973, and that really opened the floodgates. Then you had The Wicker Man. Oh, before that you had The Devil Rides Out and Hammer too. Also with Christopher Lee. And that's another one I'm gonna be doing a review on soon. That's another one that got deleted. So expect a review of The Wicker Man. The original Zombie, I think, was on there too. From Lucio Fulci. So I might have to redo that one. I got my work cut out for me. But October's coming around, Halloween's coming around. It'd be the perfect time, I think, to get into some of these old classics. Also, this one right here. Probably going to be doing a review on this one. This was one of my first ever reviews. I think it might have been like the second or third review that I ever did. Now that's gone, poofed. So I'm going to have to redo that one. But I'm having a blast with you guys out here tonight, doing the live commentary for Rosemary's Baby, one of my favorite horror films of all time. Glad I can hang out with you guys and have a blast watching this classic, iconic film. I mean, what more could you ask for in a horror film? You got an amazing cast, fantastic performances. It's eerie as hell. It's creepy as hell. It's a slow burn. The suspense is just off the charts. It's a great story. But some people, don't have the attention span to be able to handle a movie like this. Not me. I want to watch a movie with a good story that just keeps you engrossed and involved. And was a couple weeks ago I watched the original Godfather, and I was just like, I could not stop watching. It was such a great movie. And there I am with 3 hours later. Like, that's a movie. Whenever I watch, I just can't stop watching it. It's so great. Just draws you in. T- can't take my eyes off the screen. You talk about well fleshed out characters, man. Doesn't get any better than this. And Rosemary's health's really going downhill. Yeah, I mean, she just looks like death warmed over her. So she's going out to meet her friend Hutch, but he doesn't show. So you get a great shot of Radio City Music Hall. Pain be gone, I will have no more of thee. I mean, you could just relate to her character. She's just like the girl next door. Maybe a little prettier than the girl next door. I mean, she's like a model, but still, she's very down to earth personality. She's someone you feel like you can hang out with and talk to and have a great conversation. She's approachable. And she just called to see what's going on with her friend, and apparently he's in bad shape and he's in the hospital. It's like, huh, he was fine a couple days ago. It's like everything's starting to fall apart around her in her life. Everything's starting to fall apart. And then Minnie just shows up out of nowhere. Oh, what a coincidence. Like, yeah, right. You knew she was going out and exactly where she was going because she just talked to you. I just, oh, I just happened to be out. Yeah, right. And she's like, oh, let's go home. You're sick. And this crackpot doctor, it'll stop any time, any day now. This happens all the time. And they're having this big weird like get together. It's like with all these big shots, all these aristocrats. It's like, who the hell are all these people? And they're celebrating the year one. She's starting to think maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Especially when her husband isn't supportive. He's not worth a damn. He's too busy with his career and messing around with Roman. And now she's starting to rebel. I'm having a party, and Minnie and Roman are not invited. He's like, and now she's starting to read these books about witchcraft and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, don't you think you better check with Saperstein first?" And I don't think it's fair to Minnie and Roman. Like who cares what they think? What? She's a grown woman. She can't have a party in her own apartment. You're worried about what the friggin' neighbors are gonna think. You can see her getting all fidgety. Minnie, she's trying to pry in and get her in on this party. It's like, sure you should be doing that. Well, I can get you some food. And she's just like kicking her out of there. She just poured down her nasty ass drink that she keeps giving her. Now she's just having a blast with her friends who all look like models and stuff. I can't remember if they said what she does for a living in this. It seems to me she's a model or something like that, and she's wears a lot of high class clothes, high end stuff. All her friends look like models. And Guy feels all left out. 'cause she's there with all her best friends and stuff, and he's not really a part of it. But her friends can see how much pain she's in. They're like, "What the heck's going on?" Yeah. And then she starts bawling, and all her friends are gathering around. What's going on? This isn't normal that you're in this much pain when you're pregnant. You're losing weight. And she tells them about the Dr. Saperstein who's not doing anything, not giving any kind of pain medication or so he just says it'll be gone in a month. Like, well, you better get a second opinion. Sounds like a sadistic nut. Pain like this is a warning. Something isn't right. Like, well, you should go back to Dr. Hill, who's played by Charles Grodin there. And she really likes that Dr. Hill. That's who she wanted to go to the whole time. And then she tries to explain that to Guy, and he's being a real a-hole about it. It's not fair to Saperstein. What do you mean it's not fair? What about what's fair to me? He's like, those bitches in there telling you all this. They're a bunch of not very bright bitches. You know what Dr. Hill is? He's a Charlie nobody. It's like, I just want to get a second opinion. He's like, no, it's not right. What are you talking about? He's just completely fixated on Saperstein guy. Why? I wonder. Because Roman fixed her up with Saperstein. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the pain stops. Out of nowhere. And the baby's starting to kick, and then it seems like everything's fine, honky dory again. Now they're getting ready to set up for the baby, and now she starts doing what she's told again, drinking Minnie's drink every day, eating, and She seems in better shape anyway. She's not ghostly white anymore. And she's getting her clothes ready for the hospital. She's getting all excited now. Anyway, if you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for joining me tonight and everyone that has joined me in the chat tonight. Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, Movie Massacre. We had the Late Horror Show here. We had Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, Horrific Nightmares JM, and Hellhound from the Horror Metal Channel, Ben Grimm. Yeah, we had quite a few people on here, so I thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We're having a blast watching this classic film directed by Roman Polanski, the classic Rosemary's Baby. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're on to the scene where Rosemary's going to Hutch's funeral right now. So she just found out about it, and yeah, so she just passed away kind of out of nowhere. He got sick and then died right away. And she just met with Hutch's caretaker and friend, and apparently Hutch left a book for her to read. Oh, Movie Mask is back. He's back. What's going on, dude? Thanks for coming back. So we're right at the scene, if you just join us, where her best friend Hutch died. She went to the funeral and met with her caretaker, and her caretaker left her this book for Rosemary to read that Hutch wanted her to read. What is it, you say? Well, we'll have to find out, won't we? And Minnie's all concerned about it. She's like, I can handle it. Guess what it is? All of them witches. Ah. See, he was starting to get on to things, and that's why he's dead. Where's Dark Fate? Yeah. Oh, don't worry. He'll be around, I'm sure. It's almost his time. October, the ghost of Halloween, is going to make his return. You can bet on that. And he wants my soul again. He had me for a little while there last time, if you recall. The dark fate did take possession of my soul, but I was able to fight back and escape the grasp of the madman known as the dark fate. Now he's after me again. I have to do battle with him once more, and I hope to rid him once and for all this time. Here she is messing with the Scrabble, playing around with the words, All of Them Witches is the title of the book she's reading right now. Now she's messing with the Scrabble time, trying to figure things out. Comes with the fall. She's starting to literally put the pieces together of what's going on here. Elf shot lame witch. I'm not looking forward to him coming back. He wants my soul. He's gonna drag my soul down to hell. Drag me to hell. Now she's picking up the book again, All of Them Witches, and she's looking through the photographs. And then Hutch told her about that Adrian Makato uh, was into witchcraft, and then she just saw a photo of Stephen Makato, and she's playing around with those words. And guess what? It also spells Roman Castevet. Oh, Roman Castevet is the son of Adrian Makato, cult leader into witchcraft. Or so she believes, anyway. Is it true? We'll have to find out. And now she's trying to explain it to him. Do you know who Roman is? He's Adrian Makato's son. She's like, yeah, whatever. I think he knows exactly what she's talking about. He's showing her the book. It's like, what is this crap? See, there he is at 13 years old. See the piercing eyes? I love this movie. His son Stephen's born 1886, makes him 79. That's exactly how old Roman is. He'll never take you to hell. You're the sensei. Thank you. I will be Walter, my friend. Big fan of Bruce Lee. Bet you didn't know that. Yeah, he's one of my idols. I just grew up watching those movies all the time. There was a time where I did nothing but watch martial arts movies all the time. I watched all the Chuck Norris movies, all the ninja movies like Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, all the Bruce Lee stuff, obviously, all the Jackie Chan's, and but Bruce Lee especially, I fixated on him. Like I just admired his talent so much. because out of all of them, he's the one that seemed the most legit to me. You knew he was for real, you know? Like, the stuff that goes on in the movies is all made up stories, but you knew he was real, you know? Like, this dude ain't playing, he's the real deal. He will whoop your candy ass. And now she's telling Dr. Saperstein about her story, you know? She's like, wow, this is really interesting, you know? Interesting how he reacts. He believes her. I would have expected him to say, "What are you crazy? The hell are you talking about? Which is living in the apartment?" He's an ancient descendant of a crazy jabroni. All of a sudden, Roman and Minnie are taking a vacation, going off to live somewhere else. You know? Yeah, convenient, huh? Now that she's starting to get on to you, huh? Just saying Roman's sick and they want to travel while he still can. Hmm. Who you kidding, huh? Who you kidding? Trying to throw Rosemary off course now that she's starting to figure things out. And what's my favorite Bruce Lee movie? Enter the Dragon. Oh shoot, she's gonna get killed, girl, walking across that street like that. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very interesting. I have his book, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, and I also have the book that his wife wrote about him. Yeah, that's how much I'm into. Now she got a whole nother book of witchcraft because a guy made her throw the other one away. Some cultures believe that a personal possession of the victim is necessary, and spells cannot be cast without one of the victim's belongings. This is when she's talking to the guy that went blind. That guy took his role, and that's Tony Curtis talking on the phone. She said, "We're both unhappy that he got his break because of your misfortune." He's like, "Ah, that's the way it goes." And yeah, he left something behind, she says. She's like, "What?" "Oh, the tie. He's they got his tie." That's what she was just talking about. What it said in the book, they use something of the victim's belonging. So they stole his tie so they could use it in their ritual. And that's how they were able to cast a spell on him, using his tie and stuff. That's how he went blind. She packed her bags and she's ready to go to Dr. Hill now. She don't give a damn what guy and anybody says anymore. She's getting a second opinion from the doctor she wanted to see the whole time. And she's all happy about it. She's like, now we're gonna do things the right way. Oh yeah. It was called Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. But the guy they got to play him didn't look anything like him though, really. Jason Lee, I think his name was. I wish it got a little more into detail. But it was pretty good. It was enjoyable. Sometimes I think about, imagine if Bruce Lee didn't die. Imagine the great movies he would have made. It was like he was just starting to get into Hollywood and get into big productions because Enter the Dragon was a big step up production wise and from the stuff he did in Hong Kong. And, I love those movies too, but but this was obviously a big budget, Hollywood, production, Enter the Dragon. It was awesome. Like, imagine the movies he would have made if he didn't die. Maybe he would did maybe would have worked with Jackie Chan and stuff. They would did some cool stuff. But he probably would have did some big time movies. She's starting to freak out. She thinks Saperstein is right at the phone booth. By now, they probably know she's gone and they're trying to catch her. It starts Getting intense, you know? The chase is on. Some of it, yeah. Some of the events, were in the movie that were in, her book. Linda Lee Caldwell, was his wife's name. And then when you think, of course, about what happened to Brandon, how tragic that was too, you know? Crazy, and you think, and he died before he could reach his, pinnacle of his career, you know? He's just getting started too. You could tell he would've been a huge star. Look how good The Crow was and how good he was in that. I remember I went to the movies to see Rapid Fire too. I really enjoyed that. Strange Monkey Reviews says I'm just jumping in to say hello. I have never seen this movie, which is why I can't stay for the yeah. You don't want to get spoiled. This needs to change. I also want to say that Sean's a national treasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir. Oh, you absolutely have to see this movie, man. Any horror fan out there, if you have not seen Rosemary's Baby, this is your homework. Stop what you're doing and watch this movie. Because this is what classic horror is all about to me, you know? A movie that's taken seriously with fantastic acting, fantastic story, fantastic direction, and it's a perfect example of a slow burn, suspenseful horror movie. Movie Massacre says, I do think about that sometimes. It would have been great to see him work with a lot of other big stars. At least we saw him with John Saxon, yeah. Elbow cough. Yeah, that'll be a great choice for October. Halloween coming around. Check out an old classic. I don't know if you heard me saying before, but it was my wife that introduced me to this movie. That's right. Christy had me see this classic horror film. Thank you, Christy, because I wouldn't have seen this epic masterpiece. Now she's over at Dr. Hill's office, and she's trying to tell him all about what's going on. And she's showing her all the witchcraft books and telling him about Roman and Minnie and how they're involved in a satanic cult and they're witches, practicing black magic and showing a keen interest in her baby and thinking, oh, they might want to sacrifice the baby or something, as part of the ritual. Yeah, listen to Movie Massacre. It's a classic, man. Also, witch stuff, Tannis fruit. Hutch came and immediately saw something. He knew about the witches. And they stole one of Hutch's belongings. They took his glove to use in the ritual to put a spell on him, which put him in a coma, and then he died. So they have a coven and they want her baby. He's like, well, it certainly seems that way. So he does believe her, it seems. Like, afraid you wouldn't believe it. I don't believe in witchcraft, but there are plenty of maniacs running loose in the city. He's like, Abraham Saperstein. He knows all about him. He's like, you know him? Like, I met him once or twice. You wouldn't think in a million years he'd be wrapped up in this craziness. Now it seems like she feels safe. She's with this doctor that she trusts and has confided in, and he believes her. He wants to help her. She's like, sit down, get some rest. We're gonna take care of you. Everything's gonna be good from here on. Yes, Chris, that is your homework. So says Sean Urshan from the Horror Corner and Mr. Movie Massacre. Classic horror, yes. You got it, man. You gotta respect the classics, man. Where would we be today without the classics? She grabs the pills that the evil Dr. Saperstein prescribed, and she's like, monsters, unspeakable, unspeakable. She's starting to drift away, but sorry, girl, it's not over yet. She's starting to have these weird dreams again. So trippy. Hutch is there and everything's happy. They got the baby. So her dreams are starting to get happy now, but fortunately, she's about to wake up in a nightmare that is reality. The Dr. Hill that she trusted so much. By the way, spoiler, guys, we are going to talk a little bit about what's happening right now. So if anybody has not seen this film yet, turn the stream off, go and watch this classic film, Rosemary's Baby from 1968, directed by Roman Polanski. Do your homework, just like Strange Monkey's going to do his homework, and watch this classic film, because I am going to start talking about the events leading up to the classic shocker of an ending. So right now, the doctor that she trusted so much, Dr. Hill, has double crossed her. He contacted Dr. Saperstein to come there and take hold of her and hold poor Rosemary hostage. Oh, she loves it. This is probably I would say this is probably her favorite horror movie, if I had to choose, because this is one that we've watched together the most, and that it's one that she actually says she wants to watch, you know? Whenever we watch spooky movies, this is the one that she really picks. So stuff is really starting to come to a head now. They've got Rosemary in custody, and they're taking her back to the the branch firm in New York City. She acts like she dropped her change in her wallet. And now, while they go to pick it up, she takes off. Yeah, of course I like Young Frankenstein. Who doesn't? Classic. Poor Rosemary trying to escape the grasp of these lunatics. Lords of Salem. Yeah, I suppose so. In a more over the top way, I think. Well, this is a lot more subtle than any Rob Zombie film. That's another thing I love about it. It's a lot more subtle. Like you don't see a lot of crazy stuff, you know, or s- crazy supernatural stuff going on, but it's hinted at. It's much more subtle. And with the you see some weird imagery here and there, the dreamlike scenarios. She went back to her room and locked them out of their room. And she's free for them for the moment, so she's trying to call the police and stuff. She's looking around to make sure they're not there. Uh, they got in. We have friends, Rosemary. There's nothing to be alarmed about. Now, Saperstein's ready to inject her with a sedative. They're gonna put her out. She's freaking out. You're lying. You're lying. And they gagging her. You know? Uh, she's going into labor. She's freaking out, dude. It's supposed to be doctors. It's supposed to be in the hospital. Everything's clean and sterile. It's like, I'm sorry, my little darling. Forgive me. Now it's all over and she's woken up. What happened? Did she have the baby? It's like, yeah, the baby's fine. What is it? A boy. Well, she's at least happy the baby survived. But she can't feel too comfortable with them having it. They have possession of the baby. What are they gonna do with it? Now they got one of Roman's cronies watching over her. She's like, "Where's my baby?" Yeah, like he's gonna help. Here comes the evil Dr. Saperstein, played by Ralph Bellamy, who was in the original Wolfman with Claude Rains and the legendary Lon Chaney Jr. He was the head police officer, the chief of police, I believe. And they're trying to say the baby didn't make it. The baby was stillborn. She's like, "You're lying. You're lying." She starts freaking out, and then they give her the sedative again. And this jerk guy is like, "Oh, you had the postpartum freak out." Spouting off something about witches and craziness. Just trying to play it off like it was all in her head and now everything's okay. How come you thought I'd join the party? Yeah, we know you're a part of it. This piece of crap's trying to laugh it off. Well, the horror they put her through. Now you can see she's just burnt. She's exhausted. She's like, let me see your shoulder, guy. Movie Massacre says, my wife bought a DVD set with 50 classics. I just watched one called Attack of the Giant Leeches. I haven't seen that one. Sounds awesome. I've been watching some Ed Wood's movies. I got a Ed Wood collection. Those are fun. They're a blast. I watched Bride of the Monster and Plan 9 from Outer Space. Suppose you would call them classics, but in a not in the traditional sense, I guess. More of a so bad it's good kind of way. Rosemary is trying to plot what her next move is gonna be. She decides she's not gonna take the pills they give her because obviously they're kind of trying to keep her sedated. She's hiding the pills and not taking the drinks. And she pretends to take it in front of the nurse. She's like, "We got new neighbors," and she's like, "Do they have a baby? I heard the baby crying." That's because it's not new neighbors. That's her baby, and she knows damn well that's her baby. But they took it, still born my ass. Now they all went away, they all left. Now Rosemary's plan begins. She's cleaning out that closet that they had the chest blocking, that big bureau was blocking the closet. Now she knows something's up with that closet, man. She's taking all the shelves down, and she can see there's a door back there in the back of the closet. Like I said, if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, stop watching right now and go back and watch Rosemary's Baby, because this is one of the most legendary endings in horror. Yeah, that's right. There is two sequels to Creature from the Black Lagoon. Revenge of the Creature, I believe, and what was the other one? Can't remember. I saw Revenge of the Creature, but I didn't see the other one yet. Rosemary grabs a big butcher knife from the kitchen. She's ready to delve into the what's behind that door. A guy just crept in, so she's hiding there. And he's all dressed up in a suit. What's he all dressed up for? To meet the new neighbors? With knife firmly in hand, she approaches the closet and opens that secret door into the unknown. Now she's in the other apartment and she sees this weird painting of a church burning. What the fiery blaze? She's going down the hall, this really fancy looking apartment. And there's these weird religious paintings As she goes further, she sees there's a whole bunch of people gathered in this room, in the living room, and it's people that she knows, friends of the Castavets, and it looks like they're having some kind of party or something, and there's a crib for a baby in there, and it's a black crib, cloaked in black, with an upside down cross dangling from it. And there's Mr. Roman and Minnie Castavet, who are supposed to be off traveling the world. You know, we knew that was BS because he's still there right now with his bunch of crazy cult friends. Rosemary's still gripping that knife, and then she's going to take a peek at the baby. And you hear that freaky music. Ah, ah. She takes a look and she's absolutely horrified. But they don't show anything really, you know? It's just the power of suggestion, you know? What have you done to its eyes? Guy's eyes are normal. What have you done to him, you maniacs? Satan is his father, not Guy. He came up from hell and begat mortal woman. Satan is his father, and his name is Adrian. He shall overthrow the mighty and lay waste. He shall redeem the despised and wreak havoc in the name of the burned and the tortured. Hail Satan! Oh boy. He arranged things so that you'd be the mother to his only living son. His might shall last longer than longer. It's like an evil version of the Jesus story, you know? Twisted, dark version of Catholicism, really. The story of Jesus, the Son of God, turned flipped around, and it's Son of Satan. They chose her to be someone pure of heart to host the son of the devil. And she's just lost it. Now she's just dumbfounded, you know? She doesn't know what to do. She knows that her son is alive, but that he's the son of Satan. So what does she do now, you know? Does she turn her back on her son, her child, you know? It's quite the conundrum. And everyone's gathered around celebrating the birth of baby Antichrist. And guy's trying to act like he's just trying to protect her and all this, and she spits right in his face. That was awesome. You had that coming, buddy. You piece of garbage. And there's this guy, this tall, handsome dude, Adrian Stefopoulos, you know. And who that might be, huh? Is that the devil? I think it might be because he's taking quite an interest in the baby. And now that obnoxious old lady's rocking the crap out of the baby. And Roman's trying to say him, she's too old. It's not right. You should rock her, Rosemary. And she's like, you're trying to get me to be its mother. Aren't you his mother? He's a very charming dude, this Roman, very charismatic. She's trying to say, you're rocking him too hard. She's like, what's she doing? Let Rosemary rock him. She's like, be a mother to her. It's a messed up upside down cross. I love that they don't show anything. You don't know if it's like deformed or like evil looking or if he's just a normal looking baby or some kind of monster with green skin or something. But they sure act like he's totally normal and exactly what they wanted. And now she's starting to rock the baby and she's starting to think a little differently now, maybe. She's starting to think, well, he's my son. Guess I have to take care of him. She starts um almost like semi smiling, you know. And that's how it ends. You get that classic shot once again of the Dakota building, the famous Dakota apartment building where John Lennon was killed. Called the Brantford in this film. And there you have it, guys. Rosemary's Baby. Fantastic film. What a great, shocking end. Um, like I said, just an amazing build up. Very slow, suspenseful build up to an absolute crescendo with that classic reveal, that they are indeed Satan worshippers. And not only that is they're actually raising the son of Satan himself. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Awesome, awesome, awesome movie. I love it. Yeah. Like I said, one of the greatest horror films of all time, in my opinion. And it doesn't have to show all this crazy stuff, this wild supernatural stuff. Didn't need to. Just subtle. It's implied what that baby looks like. It's implied what that baby is. I just love the plays on things that could happen in real life and do happen, these cults and satanic worshippers. This stuff happens in real life, and this is like, well, what if it was real? What if Satan begat a son of using a woman that they chose who's pure of heart and, you know, Satan raping the woman and impregnating her? That's crazy, man. Excellent film. Like I said, I think it's a 5-star masterpiece, an absolute classic. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight at the Horror Corner for this live stream commentary of Rosemary's Baby. Like I said, if you've not seen this film, definitely go buy it right now. and watch it. It's an absolute masterpiece. This is classic horror in every sense of the word. And thank you everybody who joined me in the chat tonight, Mr. Movie Massacre. Thanks for coming. Mr. Horror Metal, Mr. Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, the Late Horror Show, Dino. We had Ben Grimm in the house. We had Horrific Nightmares, JM. I had a lot of cool people showing up. Ben Grimm. Thanks everybody who showed up tonight. Really appreciate it, and I had an absolute blast. We had a little bit of technical trouble for a few minutes there, but we came back and we finished the show strong, and we had a great time. Uh, so I had a blast, guys. Tune in, subscribe, and stay scared. Thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Gershon. Have a great night, guys. Have a great weekend.